welcome to the Unsettled. This case is one that I've been dying to do for ages, and you have no idea what it is.
Nope.
See,
He's even hidden the bit of paper over there, and I can't see it.
So basically, whenever we do our videos and plan ahead, I have a massive list. I cross things out, I tick them off, I go through the whole list. I then tell him what cases we're going to be discussing, and then we discuss them. Basically, so you've got time to do a bit of research on it, or possibly look it up, scroll through, do what you. I mean, you don't bring his notebook anymore.
If I can, this is with the work and everything at the moment.
Excuses. So yeah, if you're new here, subscribe. Like I said, this has got to be a case he doesn't know about, so it's a first on this channel. But you don't know about it, so it's good.
I think we've had one other one that
and you found it really interesting.
No, I think that was season 1.
Possibly. Well, I didn't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
Possibly. So yeah, this is going to be a case, and now you're going to find out what the case is. So subscribe, like the video,
and hit that notification bell.
And there you go. And like I said, if you've got new cases or cases you want us to discuss, drop a comment below. We'll talk about them. We'll pick them, and we'll do a video on them.
Yep.
So anything you viewers who have stumbled across a video want a case, as long as it's unsolved or unsettling or
and it's not up to date. Like it's not most recent.
But it's always iffy because you always upset the parents.
It's the
and
most
humour
recent
doesn't
ones.
really work for new cases.
Not quite.
No.
Not quite.
So anyway,
so what lovely case have we got today?
You ready? So, in today's episode of The Unsettled, we're going to be discussing the death of Bruce Lee.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
And we have a video at the end just to show how good of a martial artist he was. So, yeah, I'm well prepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
So...
You're so good and piss off boring.
Possibly. Like I said, like this case I've been itching to do, and I know it is technically solved as such, but there is like conspiracy theories, propaganda, and loads of things which I really wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just gonna get straight into it. So if you're a fan of Bruce Lee, like I was, still is, but
I am. I haven't seen the movies just recently, but no,
it's funny. That she overheard me watching him doing his cow-like noises, and she was like, "What the fuck he was?" Like, don't worry about it.
Well, he always uses his legs and not his hands.
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, I've been wanting to discuss this case for a long time. Thought it was about time we threw it out there.
No, it's a very interesting case.
Indeed. So, one evening, the martial arts master known as Bruce Lee took some medication for a headache he had for a few days. Then after laying down upstairs, he had an allergic reaction which took place.
Apparently.
Yeah, allergic reaction I guess took place, causing his brain to swell, thus dying of cerebral edema at the age of 32. I'm older than Bruce Lee.
Yep.
Wow, I've outlived the martial arts master. Anyone over the age of 32, you're better than Bruce Lee.
In fashion.
So he actually died while he was on the verge of superstardom.
Yep.
Okay. His highly influential kung fu classic Enter the Dragon was released a month later. It's not my favourite film of his.
It's not. No.
I prefer Fists of Fury.
Yeah.
And I also like Game of Death, even though he's only here for a little bit. But still, he's
in there.
What's your favourite film? Do you like The Way of the Dragon? Game of Death? 1, 2. He was good at what he did.
Yeah.
But Enter the Dragon is a good
Enter the Dragon is good.
Probably most.
I think that's what got me into Bruce Lee movies.
Okay. Or like I said, although that's not really my favourite.
It's not my favourite, but it is. It's definitely
one of his best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite is Way of the Dragon.
Okay, I thought so. Right.
Yeah.
Right. 20 years on, his only son, Brandon Lee, was on his way yet again to stardom.
Yep.
Right.
And
yes. Right. And it then became a complicated series of events.
Yes.
So while his son was filming one of my favourite movies of all time, The Crow, he was shot on set while rubber bullets was used. A real bullet was forced into the barrel, thus killing the 28-year-old.
Yep.
Now, may I add that The Crow was going to be possibly bigger than Batman at this point.
It is.
Because Batman,
It was.
Batman came out and it was quite dark and brooding, but nothing compared to The Crow.
Nothing compared to The Crow. It was. The Crow was obviously thought up way before Batman was ever even comprehended anyway.
You do know, right? The reason why I actually started putting eyeliner on was when I watched The Crow when I was younger. I was like, that's so cool. So cool. Right.
It is.
Like
it's
his
Batman before Batman.
It was. So, like Brandon Lee's father, he was on the verge of superstardom, and yet, somehow, some way, he managed to die on set. Bit weird. Anyway, let's get back to Bruce Lee.
Yes.
Okay. On July the 20th, 1973, 6 days before the release of his latest movie, Enter the Dragon, Lee met with a producer, Raymond Chow, to talk about a new project.
Mm-hmm.
The two drove over to Lee's colleague's place, actress Betty Ting Pei, maybe?
Ting Pei.
Ting Pei, whatever it is. When Lee began to complain about more headaches, Betty allegedly gave Bruce an gastric, I guess, which is a combination of aspirin and a muscle relaxant.
Yeah.
I guess I should say that instead. Yeah.
Say the words you know.
Very limited. Lee then went to take a nap, yet never woke up. The autopsy revealed the substance of the aspirin and muscle relaxant.
Yeah.
His death ruled by misadventure, yet hardly anyone believes it.
Hell no.
Don't you?
Nope.
Okay. Many people suggested foul play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, many believe the Chinese mafia killed Bruce Lee as punishment for exposing so many martial arts secrets. They had warned Bruce over and over again about it, and yet he didn't care, right? But allegedly he had issues, so therefore he moved out of that area to go live superstardom in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, obviously, before he moved,
Yes.
he was involved in a brawl,
Yes. Okay.
which in one of the
He
films,
seems really excited for this. Go on,
in one of the films, it is shown how he done the jump up in the air and then the double stamp
Okay.
on the chest.
Yeah.
He'd done that in this brawl and killed one of the mafia's sons, or
Okay.
like
So he allegedly killed the mafia
the
person.
triad's son, or whatever it was.
Don't mention triads on this channel.
Oh, sorry, triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of their or a group of the whatever was involved, and hence all of the trouble started.
Mm-hmm.
They was also trying to recruit him as well, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, and I also found out like he was the first to do work of that kind, like martial arts of this kind. Yet the more popularity he became, so did the films, thus more enemies he made. Right. His son picked up obviously where his father left off, thus his demise was quicker and shrouded in mystery too.
Yep.
Right. Allegedly, by the Chinese mafia, the triads, Bruce refused
Triangles.
Bruce refused to work in the movies and they hated that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was possibly another thing.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be associated with Chinese mafia.
They was trying to.
Yeah.
They were trying to get
So
bigger stars, basically.
yeah. So allegedly, even after Bruce's death, they held a grudge of Brandon Lee becoming popular and starting a big movie, such as The Crow, and wanted him dead. Yeah. Right. Many believe Betty was sleeping with Bruce Lee.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Right. And that she knew the tablet would kill him. Betty said Bruce collapsed on set of Enter the Dragon. He would allegedly use high voltage to stimulate his muscles. He worked too hard to be the best. Yeah. Right.
So he was technically one of the founding members that used, you know, the muscle machines that you can put onto your things.
Yeah.
He basically, he didn't invent it, obviously.
No, he just
used
a
it.
lot higher voltage.
Yeah. And to obviously a lot of bodybuilders and stuff use the same.
Yeah. Here's where things get strange. So, Betty Ting was Bruce Lee's alleged mistress as such.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond Chow left before Bruce took the pill to go eat elsewhere.
Mm.
Right? Despite them having dinner, drinks, you know, having a chat
Everything
about
already organised.
Yeah, it was that him and his producer Raymond Chow were having a chat about the new film Game of Death.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, that's why he's only in it for like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, it's the only scenes that they were managed to.
But I don't get it. So him, Betty and Raymond were having a chat, and then Raymond goes off and goes eat elsewhere. Yet there's food there.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the fact Bruce and Betty wanted some private time? Who knows?
Who knows?
Right. Raymond Chow arrived later on after Betty couldn't wake Bruce. It took them a few hours to ring police and an ambulance. It's a bit weird. Odd.
Mm.
Right. Now Raymond then stated to press Bruce Lee died at home with his wife present. He said this to reporters, which was he was later caught out on, which is odd. Very
that
odd.
was one hell of a slip of a tongue, mate.
Rumour has it Bruce was leaving his partnership with Raymond Chow and was starting his own production movies. Also, Bruce told Betty he was ending the affair, thus she got angry and possibly killed him. Or, I'll get into it in a bit more. Right. Many say Bruce's use of substances was also his downfall. Cocaine, LSD, weed, yet the autopsy never said any of this. But he did do it.
He did do it.
Now, rumours also began that Raymond Chow was working with the Triads, and knowing Bruce was wanting to break away from the company, both him and Raymond created. Did this give Raymond the go-ahead? He knew Bruce wasn't in the best shape, as Bruce Lee was rushed into hospital after having seizures and headaches.
Yeah, that was due to obviously him doing his own stunts and stuff. And he fell awkwardly.
He was also diagnosed with cerebral edema, fluid on the brain, and Raymond knew this. Yeah. Right, so Raymond knew Lee was suffering with this. Lee, despite being stable and better after a few days in hospital, was released. Did Raymond tell Betty to hand him the pill knowing it would kill him? That's why he left for dinner elsewhere. Or did Betty know his condition as well? So was Betty maybe the innocent party and Raymond said, yeah, let him have these? It's like Bruce Lee didn't know that these pills would do it despite being told it would do it. So, Raymond now owned and co-founded the company and rights after Bruce's death. Yep. Raymond also released Game of Death years later. Like I said, he was only in it for like 6, maybe 10 minutes of the film.
It's the only things that they managed to record before, obviously, the tragic end. And
then they also added Bruce Lee's funeral into the movie as well, which I thought was a bit...
it was definitely a bit of a
bit poor taste.
Yeah.
Right. As I said, it gets weird. Betty married a triad, and Raymond was joined in the Chinese mafia. Allegedly, Raymond gave Bruce Lee meds on set. It didn't kill him off during Enter the Dragon, which is why he was also rushed into hospital. Now
maybe it was a precursor.
Maybe he was just making him weak enough to do it.
You know, I think you should do this.
Yeah, like a lot of people, it's easy to say yes, he did die of, like fluid on the brain and stuff like that. That's fine. We can fully agree that he died of that. But what I'm trying to get at is there was other
how.
Yeah. So other theories was the death strike. Bruce Lee had a private battle with Wong Jack, who said he won. Lee would have to stop if what's his name? Jack. Wong Jack, not White Jack, Wong Jack, who said if he won, Lee would have to stop teaching American students.
Yeah.
So they had a private fight.
Yeah.
Whatever the outcome was, no one knows for sure, but Bruce continued to teach non-Chinese students. Right. During this, Lee was struck by the touch of death, a pressure point mark, thus resulting in brain swelling. Is that plausible? Which then later on led to...
See, it is plausible, yes.
Right. Many believe the fight that took place was a draw. This argument between them went back and forth. Even today, people believe Wong Jack won and Bruce lost. Or Bruce won, Wong Jack lost. It is never... Bruce was allegedly arrogant. He would fight anyone but never acknowledge a rematch. Just said he beat a kung fu cat. He never mentioned his name, he just said he beat him. Right. Bruce also changed styles shortly after the fight, mixing in some of Wong Jack's style. Right. I'm not gonna speak on Bruce's family curse because it's so shit. As Bruce's older brother Peter lived to 69 while his younger brother is also alive, so the curse is broken.
Yeah.
But is it possible that Bruce Lee was possibly poisoned up until that point? You like tablets, Will? Just clarifying.
No.
Is it possible?
It's that setup, though, isn't it? It's the setup.
Is it possible
it's
that
a lot of different things which
leading
all
to one
add up
Yeah,
to that one thing?
exactly. So allegedly, his mistress, who has never actually admitted she slept with Bruce Lee.
Everyone knows it.
Allegedly. Yeah. So is that the reason why Raymond left, to give him some quiet time, and then he later found
Well, I know of one other conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
And I was told this conspiracy theory, obviously, while I was in that sort of Bruce Lee stage where it was just like movies and movies and movies. But so obviously he had a lot of wellness issues. At the time, I didn't really know what. But obviously, as I grew older,
you kind of gathered.
I worked out what it was, bits and pieces, whatever. So he had this thing which he was apparently meant to believe of this family curse.
Okay.
And so he consulted his apparent mistress and his producer, who he was apparently close friends with, and he was like, I'm coming to the end.
Okay.
Like, I know what my body can handle. I know what I can handle.
I will say this, I read online, a lot of people said he was in the best condition, but if he was in such good condition, why was he rushed to hospital and then to the Dragon? Sure, he pushed himself, sure, he could have been he could have suffered exhaustion, but to then be rushed into hospital, realise he's got, should we say, he's not allowed certain medication, for then people to know, it's kind of he might have looked good, but inside...
It was all twisted up.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like a...
So obviously the end of this is basically he orchestrated that he knew what could kill him. Okay. And he was just like...
So he was going...
It's basically a last meal.
So basically he knew he was going to die.
And he was like, I'm going to die, but I want to do it my way, like I've done my whole life.
Okay.
And
so maybe that is
plausible. He basically took some tablets and went, I'm going to bed. And
very plausible.
Went peacefully.
Okay. Very plausible.
No. And to be fair, when I heard it, it fitted.
It fitted because his biggest movie's ever just come out.
Yeah.
But then
he was on a verge of
he had
one.
He had a wife. Listen, he had a wife and a child.
He had a young child, but then he knew his limitations.
Yeah, but when you're married and you have a child who was just, should we say, within 1 year old, or maybe 2, or I don't know. Maybe
Brandon was 2 at the time.
Okay, so if we were going to go with that, yes, you have limitations, but he could have still been a martial arts teacher. He could have done something. You don't just pop your life away.
True, but apparently he was also told by his doctor that he would only have a year left anyway. And bearing in mind, martial arts is all he had, as well as obviously his family, but that's what he's passionate about.
But he was big.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he was like, I want to go my way. I don't want to go in a heap on the floor where I can't even pick myself up. Kind of thing. But obviously this swelling on the brain was growing and... But no, that's... Yeah,
I like the whole idea of a conspiracy theory and people want to kill him off.
That is literally... It is weird. Like,
I don't like the idea of him wanting to do it. I like the idea of someone doing it.
Yeah, I've got to admit, but I also... If it did happen that way...
That's fine.
That is fine, because fine. You're like, you
it's
know
peaceful.
What?
You can sleep.
You did it your way.
You can go to bed.
You went it
you
your way.
You don't have to wake up. You can.
But apparently he had his last meal with his family and his two close friends, which was Betty and the producer.
Yeah.
And that's the way that he wanted it.
Allegedly, the producer left. Got food elsewhere.
Yeah, to leave them to like the last final... Yeah, probably, I don't know.
The last final shoot.
The last final way before they got back.
The last final kung pao in the chow chow.
Good attempt. I don't think it worked.
Well, it was just a case.
No, it's a very good case.
Yeah, very good.
It's a very good case, and you're definitely going to annoy our friend.
But anyway, that was my thoughts, opinions. Some theories, conspiracy theories going around on the whole case. Obviously, he did die of this. The autopsy did state it. But it's how did that pill end up inside him rather than him saying he has a headache. You have two people, well, one person over loads of people that say, don't really fit, does it? Oh, can I have a headache tablet? Yeah. Brain swelling. He knew what was going to happen. He was rushed into hospital beforehand. Makes no sense.
No.
Biggest kung fu master.
Biggest.
Did you like that one, though?
It's very good.
Right. So he liked it. I enjoyed writing it. So yeah, if you've got any unsolved cases, crimes, murders, mysteries, oddities that we haven't covered, drop a comment below, subscribe, and like the video, and give us your thoughts and opinions on it. Do you reckon it was like a plot to kill him?
Do you reckon it was his own doing? He wanted to go.
Is that what you're going to say? If you say that, thumbs down the video.
No. Good. See you in the next one.
Yeah. Bye.